Hello folks, and welcome back to the Rangers Roundup. Well, quite a lot has changed since last time we spoke. We've got new owners, a new manager, and a new season is almost upon us. But will we have the new players required to win anything? I severely doubt it. But then again, I am the eternal pessimist. Only time will tell. Rangers today discovered their opposition for the second qualifying round of the Champions League. Rangers will face Greek side Panathinaikos, with the first leg at home on the 22nd or 23rd of July. The Greek Giants have never been beaten over 90 minutes in 7 matches against Scottish opposition, although Rangers did get past them in 2008 on the famous run to the UEFA Cup final. Nacho Novo netted a crucial strike in Greece that night to send Rangers through to the round of 16 on away goals. Much like the Gers, Panathinaikos finished a distant second in their own domestic league last season behind Greek champions Olympiakos. Rangers of course visited Olympiakos last November in the Europa League and came away with a hard-fought point, a lovely strike from Cyril Dessers earning us a 1-1 draw on the night. Panathinaikos have 5 pre-season friendlies arranged so far, with matches against Metalist, Nordsjælland, German side Schalke, Braga from Portugal and Westerlo. They should be fairly up to speed by the time they meet the Gers in July, so the new Ibrox head coach Russell Martin will have his work cut out for him if he's to find a way to negotiate this very tricky tie. The Greeks were probably the strongest side Rangers could have drawn at this stage, with many hoping the Light Blues would have drawn Swiss side Servette, who've never gotten past the third qualifying round of the Champions League. In fact, Rangers put them out at that stage in the 23-24 season. Not that they would have been a light touch, of course. There's no easy games at this level, and especially with where we're at the moment, we're really there for the taking. If we don't get real quality in, other teams will be licking their lips at the prospect of facing us, and not the other way around. Speaking of adding names to the ranks, young Lyle Cameron joined from Dundee just the other day when the transfer window opened. He's come in after signing a pre-contract agreement in January. Obviously he didn't know Russell Martin was going to be the manager. Maybe that would have changed his mind. Might have stayed in Dundee or maybe went across the city or something, who knows. But of course I'm sure he knew at the time that Philippe Clement was not long for this world as far as Rangers were concerned. His coat was on a sugary peg for a good while there, and it was obvious that the Belgian would be gone by the time Cameron got here. But it'll be great anyway to have him in the team. I'm a real admirer of Lyle Cameron. I think he's the kind of player Rangers should have been signing all along. And I'm glad to see we're finally going out and getting some of these young guys in. Although, will Russell Martin and his team continue to make those kind of signings, or are we going to go down the road of getting in the English boys again, the lost boys from down in League One or the Championship? Guys whose careers have gone pear-shaped and we just bring them up to Rangers, give them a massive amount of money, and they end up doing nothing, and then we end up getting rid of them on a free about 2 or 3 years later, having wasted an absolute fortune on their wages. Let's hope we get our heads screwed on this time. Kevin Thelwell and his team have got to get this sorted out. More signings like this, please. Cameron was speaking to the Rangers website. He said, "It was a no-brainer as soon as Rangers came in. I was desperate to be here. It's obviously a massive club and the history and everything about it is just amazing. Being from Scotland, I know what the club stands for, so I just wanted to jump at the chance. It's a new project they're looking to build and improve and win leagues again, and I really wanted to be part of it. I want to come in and make an impression, do as well as possible, and get this club back where it belongs." So, the young lad's saying all the right things. Hopefully he can do it on the park. As I said, I'm a big admirer of Lyle Cameron, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the light blue jersey this season. 41 appearances for the D last year. He's racked up 14 goals from midfield, which is quite good. 9 assists again, quite good stats. 4 yellow cards, which isn't too many in Scottish football, and no red cards, which is good news. I'm sure he'll get his first one when he pulls on a light blue jersey at Ibrox, because you know what these referees are like. I can't really say too much there, of course. I don't want to get into John Brown territory, but I will just say, Bomber, you're spot on. Rangers of course have been linked with a number of other names so far in the transfer window. We've already missed out on a couple. Harry Darling was one defender we missed out on. Him and Cameron Burgess, another defender who left Ipswich Town and joined Swansea City instead of coming up to Rangers. I'm sure there'll be many more names linked across this transfer window. It's going to be a silly season as usual, as every name under the sun is linked with the club, and subsequently the vast majority of them will go elsewhere. A name that's been strongly linked with Rangers is the Peterborough winger Kwame Poku. Looks like Rangers may actually have won the race to sign the winger, although we shouldn't speak too soon. I know these things have a tendency to go tits up, if you know what I mean. But Poku is leaving Peterborough this summer, and it looks like Govan may be his preferred destination. The 23-year-old has one cap for Ghana, and he's had a good season for Peterborough, attracting the likes of Birmingham City, who were eager to snap up the winger. But it looks like Rangers are his preferred destination, and he could be coming to Ibrox this summer. Rangers would probably see Poku as an ideal replacement for Václav Černý, who left of course in the summer when his loan expired. He's gone back to his parent club, and it looks like he won't be returning to Rangers. I thought Černý was pretty decent, but certainly wasn't worth the kind of money that Wolfsburg were looking for. The German side wanting around £7 million for the winger. I'd say probably more about 5 or 6 million, but certainly nothing more. Peterborough signed Poku for £250,000 in 2021. Poku had 31 appearances for the Posh last year, scoring 12 goals from the wing with 9 assists to his name. That's quite good. 0 yellow cards, 0 red cards. But he missed 23 matches last year through injury. You know that's a massive red flag when it comes to Rangers signing players with a history of injury. Apparently he's not really had many bad injuries before this, but with the luck we've had over the last few years, you're definitely looking at that and going, not sure about that one. You just know something's going to happen. You get him in the door, play him a few games, and then gets a wee knock and he's out for 2 or 3 months. That seems to be the Rangers' way. Like I said, I am the eternal pessimist. Last but not least, another player linked with Rangers is Max Aarons. He's a right back, and he can also play at left back. So you know what that means. Tav's going to be playing right back every week this season. Aarons, if we get him, is going to be playing left back, isn't he? Because nobody can take that right back slot away from Captain Fantastic. Aarons was away on loan to La Liga side Valencia for much of last season. He only played 4 games though when he was out there. That's not so great. He's only played 9 games overall this season. Bournemouth signed Max Aarons for £7 million in 2023 from Norwich City. He played 20 matches for Bournemouth that season, and Bournemouth did really well. But last season all went a bit pear-shaped for Aarons. As I said, he's only made 9 appearances this season, 0 goals, 0 assists, 2 yellow cards to his name, no reds, and his current market value, according to Transfer Market, is €6 million. So his value has dropped since Bournemouth picked him up. Again, he's only managed 4 appearances for Valencia over in Spain, but there's obviously something there that's caught the eye of Kevin Thelwell and the Rangers recruitment team. Can he do a job for us? Who knows? Time will tell. It could be good. We definitely need a few more options in that right back berth, but as I said, is he going to play right back or is he going to end up playing left back every week? Because that seems to happen to everybody we bring in who's meant to be playing right back. They end up playing left back because Jefty and Ridvan Yilmaz are always either injured or off the boil, and Tav, to his credit, he's always available. Aarons can play at left back, but do we want to see him there? No, we want to see him at right back. So that'll do it for today, Bears. We'll be back soon with more transfer talk as the rumours continue to roll in. No doubt we'll be linked with a whole host of other names as the month goes on. We do need to get some serious quality in because the season is going to be really tough, and I think Rangers fans are running out of patience as far as trophies are concerned. We had another barren season last year and we can't have this going on too long, so we need to get back into the swing of things. We need to get back into winning trophies, and also Martin's going to have to turn this around really quickly. He's got a big job in his hands this summer to get this on the right path. He's going to have to bed in a whole bunch of new players, and he's going to have to teach them how to play his own particular brand of football. Is that going to be something that's going to be attractive to watch as a Rangers fan? I think it's going to be a case of you're going to have to grit your teeth and put up with it. We've had fans of Martin's previous clubs saying it takes a long time to get it going, 6 or 7 months. Are the Rangers fans going to be patient enough to sit and watch more terrible football for another 6 or 7 months whilst this guy tries to implement his vision? I'm not really sure. Patience is usually in short supply at Ibrox. I think these new owners will be sticking by him anyway. By all accounts, they're not going to be the type to make knee-jerk reactions because of the fans and what the fans want. They're going to be doing it their own way. So when I saw that Russell Martin had signed a 3-year deal, I thought, oh dear, we're going to have to strap in here. This could be a very long and very bumpy ride. It could be for the long haul, so we're just going to have to stick with it. I don't know if it's going to be attractive football, like I said. It might be, you never know, but from the sounds of it, he's talking about building up from the back and all that stuff. I'm just having horror visions about that horseshoe. I still have nightmares about the horseshoe. We've seen it all too often these past few seasons, back and forth, unable to come forward, and then you get it back to your keeper and your heart's in your mouth. I mean, is Jack Butland really the kind of keeper you can trust on the ball to facilitate that kind of calm and effective build-up play from the back? The guy's a bomb scare at times. We've got so many things that we need to sort out this summer, so many upgrades and so many replacements required. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm going on a bit of a rant. It's most likely to be another long, hard season with the usual growing pains of a team trying to gel together. I hate to be that guy, but I have to say it. We're just going to have to get behind the team and hope for the best. I guess anything can happen, really. You don't know. The general consensus seems to be that these qualifying games are going to come along too soon because Rangers are going to be in the middle of this big rebuild, and the chances are we're going to get caught cold here. But we do need European football, so we need to try and get into the Europa League. I think that's the bare minimum for me, is Europa League football. Don't really want to drop down into the conference. I think that's a bit of a joke competition, that one. I wouldn't want to be in that one. I'd rather just not have European football than be in the Conference League. I know that's silly because of the money and all that, but I'm not really interested in watching Conference League football, even if we do have a decent chance of going quite far in the competition, even with a pretty poor squad. I think if we got to the Conference League, I know they would never do this, but I'd just register all the fringe players and all the young guys and just say, there you go, here's a glorified reserves league for a Thursday night. You get to travel about a bit and play all these teams from around Europe and just have fun. It doesn't really matter, we're just collecting the money anyway. If we're going to drop down to the conference, I'd rather just concentrate on the league because I don't really rate the Conference League at all. And another thing, I don't want to see that green branding all around Ibrox either. I mean, the blue branding, right, for the Champions League, I can take that. The orange branding from the Europa League, obviously, that's right up my street. But I'm not having the green stripes all around Ibrox, man. That's bogging. You don't want that. Anyway, I'll let you go there. Speak to you again soon. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all after. Cheerio for now.